Xavier Rhodes, if you remember last year, Mike Zimmer spoke on Xavier Rhodes and how he needs to get better in 2019 compared to his 2018 year. In fact, I'm not going to paraphrase it. I have the quote right here in front of me. He said, quote, "I just don't think he played as well as he can play. He needs to play up to his ability level. We're paying him a lot of money." Very true. He needs to play up to that contract. I think that's very fair. Xavier Rhodes, to me, he went from being an all-pro corner in 2017 to the worst cornerback on the roster last year. Even if you disagree with me, he was no better than the second worst cornerback on the roster last year. So he definitely needs to step up his game. After those comments were made, Xavier Rhodes on his Twitter account, he liked a couple of tweets that were critical of Mike Zimmer. And these weren't tweets from beat writers or media members or anything like that. This was more so from fans, casual fans, diehard Vikings fans that were critical of Mike Zimmer. One of them says something along the lines of, Mike Zimmer, he can always point the finger at everyone but himself, which I actually agree with 100%. Xavier Rhodes, he liked those tweets. So you were thinking to yourself, like, oh, maybe there's, or at least I was to myself anyway, oh, maybe there's some friction there. Hopefully not. Maybe someone needs to step in and be a mediator. Like someone needs to be Herb Dean, referee of the UFC, and point to each side. Be like, all right, Mike Zimmer, you ready? Xavier Rhodes, you ready? All right, let's get it on. Fight. So now, since then, Xavier Rhodes has shown the last couple of days that he's been appreciative of Mike Zimmer's style. He said, quote, and this is according to Pro Football Talk, quote, "Me and him spoke on that," speaking on Mike Zimmer's comments. "Me and him spoke on that. I mean, we had a bad year as a whole team, so everybody was messing up. We all need to come together as a team and correct our mistakes. I was one of those guys being a leader on the team, not making as many plays as I did in previous years." What was really telling about Xavier Rhodes, comparing him last year to the years prior to that, is he's a physical-ass cornerback, dude. But what he was so great at was pressing the receivers at the line of scrimmage, that press coverage, stunting the receivers off of their routes so they would have to adjust. It would take a little bit of time for those receivers to adjust and get back on their routes to try to get around Xavier Rhodes. Even if Xavier Rhodes didn't press them and he didn't kind of stunt them off their routes, he's such a big cornerback that it's hard to get around him, and then he would make plays on those 50-50 balls with his size and his physicality. Receivers last year, they were getting off clean off the line of scrimmage on Xavier Rhodes, and then when it came to those 50-50 balls, suddenly those receivers, they were finding those tight windows to catch those tough passes. He wasn't the same guy at all. Can he get back to what he was in 2017? I have no idea. It would definitely be great if we could have that shutdown cornerback. Now, Mike Zimmer has also spoken on how Xavier Rhodes, he's doing a lot better in practices during off-season OTAs. He's doing, quote, he's doing better, getting back to the technical things about his game that he has to do. And let's face it, all 32 teams across the league, all the coaching staffs, all the players, everyone is looking fantastic. I'm not saying Xavier Rhodes isn't, but everybody's looking great. Everybody's in the best shape of their lives. Everyone thinks that they're going to win the championship. We're not going to really know what Xavier Rhodes looks like until the preseason when they play those, first 2 or 3 possessions with the first team. And then in the regular season, that's when we'll ultimately see what Xavier Rhodes is all about.